Yo, what's up everyone? Swifty here. So today we need to have a real unfiltered conversation. A little while back I made a video talking about my frustrations as a veteran in Warframe, and the response from you guys was insane. Well, we're back at it today, but specifically I want to look at the aftermath of the massive Jade Shadows Constellations update and the wave of hotfixes that followed it, specifically hotfix 43.0.6. Now, there's been a lot of community drama swirling around, with some content creators absolutely glazing every aspect of this update, while others are completely tearing it apart and missing the bigger picture. Now, look, this video is going to be both in terms of being scripted and raw unscripted critique as someone who genuinely loves this game and wants it to be better. All I ask of you, though, is just to listen with an open mind. Please don't attack me in the comments. Just look at the video first. I know a lot of people have other things to say when it comes to Warframe, but I wanted to hear what I have to say, and then maybe, just maybe, we can all come to an agreement that we want the best for Warframe. And of course we can have some interesting topics within the comments down below. And I'm going to give you the roadmap of what we're going to be tackling, and here are the 5 pillars for today's audit. The first topic is going to be about Steelpath Railjack. Second topic is going to be Glazers versus critiques. Topic number 3 is going to be DE's perspective. Topic number 4 is going to be the Jade Shadows update story itself. And topic number 5 is going to be Styanax Prime and the new inclusions. Alright, so this is going to be the background. It's going to be me voicing over on a video that I have recorded on Twitch. But anyways, so let's start with Steelpath Railjack. So, my honest opinions and thoughts on Steelpath Railjack. In short, it's extremely unbalanced. Now, the thing is, I have made a video about Railjack not too long ago. I did pour my heart and soul into it in terms of covering everything that I thought I should have. Maybe I could have changed maybe a thing or two, but I did cover a majority of what people should and shouldn't do and know. Now, looking back at Steelpath Railjack, I have completed every single node in it, so I can comfortably talk about the subject knowing that I know what I'm talking about. It is extremely unbalanced. In the sense of ore fixes that you do there, and the initial weapons that you can use, the MK3 weapons, was like a slap in the face. Not that I actually expected much of it. The first week that the update dropped, it was a nightmare. I couldn't do Steelpath Railjack. I refused. I simply refused. I simply refused to farm Sirius and Orion within the first week, due to the fact that it takes forever, first of all, to take down a small group of small enemy ships. Not even the cruise ships themselves. The cruise ships themselves were fine. Okay? It felt extremely unbalanced. And then don't get me started when it comes to, the whole Steel Essence nerf. Now, here's the thing that DE doesn't understand and realize when it comes to a veteran and someone that has put in hours within this game. You don't magically jump into the higher ranks of a veteran just by playing the game. It takes years of mastery. It takes time. And I have made a critique that Digital Extremes does not respect veterans' time. It takes at least 20 to 30 minutes solo, if before the whole MK4 weaponry that thing that was added. It took me at least 20 to 30 minutes, maybe longer, to complete one mission in Steelpath Railjack. It's like a slap in the face. It hurts. I have a very optimized Railjack. My Railjack is fast. My Railjack is tanky enough. The weapons that I used were extremely overpowered. They're still overpowered, but I had to change it to the MK4s because why not? I didn't really have a choice. Okay? So, even with completely min-maxed out gear, it feels like I'm hitting a wall. And to be frank with you, doing Steelpath Railjack right now, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. It feels disrespectful. It's not worth it. It is not worth playing Steelpath Railjack at all. They nerfed the Steel Essence. There wasn't a need to play Steelpath Railjack at all. The only reason why you would play it is to confront your Kuva leeches, and that's it. What is the point of Steelpath Railjack or Railjack at all if we can't have fun? Now DE has addressed this, and I will discuss this later during the video, but for me personally, it felt like a slap in the face, and it's just a constant island. I've also discussed this whole topic and debate about dead content within the game of Warframe. Eidolons, Profit Taker. I want you to question yourself, dear viewer, that if you're not, like, the only reason why you're doing Eidolons and Profit Taker and all those types of content, it's not because you're forced, no. It's not because it's the only thing to do, no. It's because you have to do it to get through and get the necessary items that you need. That's it. Nothing else comes to it. A lot of people take things competitively, good for them, I don't care. But think realistically. What is the point of Steelpath Railjack if the rewards don't really feel rewarding, if you have to put in a lot of hours, a lot of time and effort to make the base of the base Railjack, but it doesn't do much. It's not worth it. Alright, so for next topic, we're gonna address the Glazers versus critiques. In short, I'm gonna not directly address any specific content creators because I don't wanna start a drama. I'm a very chill dude, come on, man. But if there's something that I have to discuss when it comes to glazing something, praising something mindlessly, and then giving critique. Now, there's a lot of content creators in Warframe's community space where they would just praise every single update of DE. I'm gonna be honest, I am that person. Yes, at the end of the day, I have to be thankful. I'm a veteran that has done everything within the game, so to moan and groan about a small thing that isn't really relevant, then he can complain about everything then, basically. Like, that's the thing. So there are content creators that I've seen before and recently as well. I mean, this is the reason why I'm actually kind of late to the whole Jade Shadows update thing and giving my critique, is that I observed how many people praise it. I observed how many people shunned it and tear the entire update apart. Now, I'm not going to mention any names, Okay, I have listened to the reasonings, I've listened to both sides of praising the update and then people completely tearing it apart and actually, and then there will be people that will mindlessly follow them like sheep. And I'm not that type of person. I like to think for myself, especially when it comes to something like Warframe, where you can fundamentally approach the same thing and do it differently but get the same exact end result. Okay, so let's go a little bit deep into the whole glazing versus critiques. And my channel, and my YouTube channel, the reason why it exists is because I don't just blindly follow and copy the algorithm that exists just for views. I mean, I could have done it already, but I don't. I'm original. I want to be unique. That's what I want to stand for. And I'm not going to be here and cynically break down an update for angry clicks. A true independent person analyze the entire thing, and then you must ask yourself, or I should ask myself, the videos or whatever I'm making, does the videos that I make respect a veteran's time investment? Because let's be completely honest. When it comes to Warframe and thumbnails and everything, there's going to be a lot of clickbait stuff. I'm not that type of person. I could have already done so many clickbait videos, it's not even funny. I could have gathered thousands of views if I wanted to, but I'm not that type of person. I'm a genuine, honest person when it comes to my content and the videos that I make. I don't make it for myself. No, I make it for you, the viewer. So, let's move on to the next topic, shall we? It is going to be DE's perspective. Now, this is the most hot topic that we can discuss within this channel, and I think a lot of people can relate and understand when I say this. Being a developer for a game, for such a game like Warframe, is difficult. We all can agree that you cannot keep everyone at the same level. You cannot entertain everyone at the same level and keep everyone happy. What you can not do is make stupid mistakes. That's something that we can agree upon. So, I'm gonna acknowledge why DE nerfed Railjack. It's because it's the balance. I understand that balance is key, even in a PvE game. You cannot mindlessly do 2 billion damage and kill everything in one shot. It would make the game extremely boring. So, when it comes to balance, there are many ways to look at it. I know nerfs in Warframe is frustrating. I get frustrated myself. I'm a human being. Sometimes I don't sound like one, but trust me, I am. So, digital extremes is likely trying to maintain the game in a balanced state. Okay? Warframe's balanced state has been better than it ever was before, and I'll tell you guys why. Because back in my day, Slash and Var was the only thing that actually mattered more than anything else. But now, I can make a blast build, I can make a gas build, I can make any build. Back then, the meta wasn't that. Back then, you were stupid if you would have ever used, or not used Viral and Slash. Because that was the meta. But times have changed. And change can be overwhelming. Change can be daunting. Change can be sometimes for the greater good. You see? I know change is difficult, but let's all be honest, Warframe is still evolving. It is still getting updates, and it's not a complete game, it's not the base game, but it's the base at what it is. And currently we all know that Warframe is not at its base legs as of state of this making this video. I wish there were things changed. I mean, we can go on a whole another debate and topic about it, but I don't want to suck up all of your time. So, let me see. So, when it comes to the whole perspective of balance, is I'm gonna give credit where it's due. As I've said, that yes, some of the nerfs is gonna feel butthurt, it's gonna feel extremely bad. But as I've said, balance is a very fine line, as a very, very thin gray area where you have to keep in mind that you cannot keep both new players and veterans on equal terms. It's a very delicate line, and I think DE is catering more towards the new players. Not that there's anything wrong with it necessarily, but I think it's time to give some attention to some of the veterans within this game, because I really like this game, but currently, as of late, I don't have much to do. The only thing that I do nowadays is help new people. Not that there's an issue, I have an issue with it, but I want something meaningful, something that will respect my time. Okay, so let's move on to the next topic. Topic number 4. The Jade Shadows update story. The entire story. Okay, as you can see in the background, I'm playing the new quest. Okay, if it wasn't obvious already, I did state in the beginning. So, a lot of people, as I've said, when it comes to glazing and tearing this entire update apart, this is where I can give my insight and input. You guys just do whatever with what you guys hear. So, here is my honest critiques and narratives. Now, I'm not gonna spoil too much, maybe I will, I don't know. But later during the quest, or in the beginning of the quest I would say rather, is where you get introduced to the proto-frames, that being Groot and Ash. But I didn't feel any emotion. I didn't feel excitement in terms of me listening to Stalker's sons. Guess why? Because Stalker's sons weren't speaking in the first place. Oh boy, was it a nightmare for me. Now, within Jade Shadows, but like Jade's like first quest thing, that was emotional. That was a quest that a lot of people felt. That was a quest that, regardless of religion, ethnicity, whatever, you could relate to that. You could relate to the story. And that is what binds you as a person playing the game. How many games have you played where you can resonate with someone? I've played a lot of great story-based games, that being Red Dead Redemption, God of War, a lot of them. And a lot of them have resemblances in real life that a lot of people are either going through at the moment or have been through already, or will maybe go through that entire phase one time, and like once in their lifetime. So for me personally, when it comes to the aspect of the introduction to Stalker's sons, I felt distant. You know, I want to hear what's going on in their heart. I want to hear the anger, the disappointment that they had in their father, or the longing, the love, but I couldn't. Because someone at DE decided, you know what, let these proto frames speak for them. Because I can guarantee you right now, if the proto Warframes weren't there at that given specific time, that the story could have been better, where we could hear the emotion in their voice, their facial expressions, or the body expressions, I would say. But it wasn't there. It simply wasn't there, and it didn't hit the mark for me. A lot of people feel the same. I have watched a few people's videos when it comes to this specific niche part of the quest, is that they didn't feel the emotion. Now, I didn't really experience any bugs. Luckily, I didn't experience any bugs when it comes to this quest, so I'm very thankful for that. But it was an okay quest overall. Now, I have heard, as I'm speaking and making this video, is that I have heard that DE will add more story to the proto skins. That's great. That's amazing. I wish they could have done it though, because as I've said, if the proto skins weren't in the beginning and we could have heard at least one sentence or one emotion from Stalker's Sons, it would have been far better than listening to them talking like for them to the Stalker. That didn't hit the mark, so that's why. So and I honestly expected more for the proto skin specifically, due to the fact that of Warframe 1999, the Hex quest, amazing quest. I felt emotion. I actually grew attached to the characters because they had their own unique, distinct personalities. Mag was the cute one, and Arthur was the strong leader of the group, but he was hurting the inside. That's how many leaders are born, to say the least. They have been through a lot of stuff, but I'm not going to spoil that part much. So that's just an example. Now I can go on and on and on about the quest. For me personally, it didn't hit as hard as I wanted it to hit, to be honest with you. And like that's the main thing I will probably say in this quest, is that I didn't feel the emotion exactly. Okay? Now, let's move on to Styanax Prime and the new inclusions. So, for me personally, I was more excited about Styanax Prime, Aphentis Prime, and Aphrodite Prime. They're excellent elements that brings balance to the discussion of the overall update. The Aphentis, on its own merit, in terms of not building it for some kind of stat stick for, I don't know, arbitrations. It's an okay weapon. I do like it. I have a build for it. If you guys want to see, or want to see a build of it, whatever, do let me know in the comments. I'll make one. But overall, the Aphentis and Aphrodite are amazing weapons. I was extremely surprised to see the Aphrodite stats. It was amazing. I wasn't expecting that, so well done, DE. I was impressed. I did like it. And not to mention, Spirit Guns within Warframe is a little bit lacking, but the offense does hit the mark in terms of not just damage, but utility. Alright, so another thing that I want to bring up when it comes to the topic number 5 is Sirius and Orion as well, but not in the way you think. I'm going to discuss from what I've heard and from what I've seen and what you can probably expect is going to be a nerf. Yes, people. The Helminth ability for Sirius and Orion are surprisingly OP. Who would have thought that the Sirius and Orion's Helminth ability is actually good on other Warframes other than themselves? So, when it comes to Sirius and Orion themselves, I don't have much to say other than I'm a little bit disappointed. Not my playstyle, but they look cool. It's a cool idea of, eternalism and the whole gimmick of Dante and Virgil from Devil May Cry, the whole vibe, very cool. I like it. But I don't really like the playstyle, something similar to how Kome is. So, let me address the Helminth. The new subsumes, specifically Jade Stars, that you can get alongside Ashfall Shell, well, specifically Jade Stars, it's going to be very broken. And it's going to have a very broken exponential scaling to action when layered with certain Warframe abilities. And I'm going to give you a warning that enjoy these absurd synergies right now, because a heavy-handed balance patch is almost incoming once the E realizes just how hard it breaks the game in-game scaling. That's all that I can say as of currently. That it is good, yes, don't get me wrong. Is it something that I will use? I don't know, not really. Like, I have seen interesting videos about it where people would use Novas, Null Stars as some kind of something that you can sum it up as something similar. For me personally, I don't really care. There are many ways to nuke in this game. I don't know if D is gonna specifically nerf that, or if they're gonna look at the Helminth system entirely. Because as far as we know, is that TennoCon is coming soon. 10 days from now, 10, 9, 8, I don't know when I'm gonna upload this video, but it's safe to say that nerfs are coming very, very soon after the whole TennoCon thing. That is for certain. We have heard rumors about Helgen getting nerfed. We have heard rumors of some Warframes getting nerfed due to line of sight and whatever have you. I feel like that's a bit stupid because Helgen never got the spotlight in years. She hasn't been in greater state ever than before, like right now. I will admit that yes, it sucks to have a Helgen teammate, but on the other hand, the more power to them, honestly, because here's the thing. Warframe is a PvE game. You're not supposed to have competition, and for some weird reason, players play this game religiously when it comes to getting the most kills and damage. That is a very unhealthy mindset to have. I'm sorry to break it to you. Yes, you can enjoy yourself doing 2 billion damage, but you cannot then just shun and shame people for not doing as much damage, because come on man, be better. But from what I've heard, read, on both Twitter and Reddit and whatever have you, is that people are complaining about Warframes that outshine other Warframes. So this is another topic that I can briefly tip my toes into, is that the whole nerfing dilemma. Now, as I've said as earlier, is that it's a very grey line when it comes to balance within a PvE game, and Digital Extremes is struggling. I can see that. I've noticed that. They're struggling to not upset the other half of Warframe. The other half that actually knows what they're doing, that's why they have to nerf them. Versus the other half that doesn't know anything about Warframe. Now, I'm not gonna criticize players that don't know much about this game, because to put it frankly, Warframe sucks when it comes to making guides or some kind of introduction to how to make stuff properly. Warframe sucks when it comes to that department. I'm gonna say it very plainly and flatly that, yeah, even though with the whole teacher quest, it didn't really do much, to be honest. Yeah, it will teach you a little bit of the fundamentals, but within the whole modding questing, it didn't teach players how the AI works within the game in terms of that it reads the first mod you start into your Warframe or weapon or whatever. That it, like the whole UI system of Warframe reads from top left to bottom right like a book, like a normal plain book. It doesn't. Where in the guide or the teacher quest did it tell us that? It didn't. So it sucks. Like, I can understand that you have to do your research, but really? Couldn't you at least have some kind of thing at least within the game to tell people? But again, not a lot of people read. That's also something that I've noticed, unfortunately. But on and all, I would say that when it comes to nerfs, is that it's a very, very grey area. Very grey area that's very difficult not to overstep sometimes. And when you do overstep it, do expect some backlash. That's what I can say when it comes to that. So, what is my own conclusion if you look at all the topics that I've talked about? If we list off everything, we go through everything, not with a bad mindset, but someone that looks at it as an objective side of view. The quest itself was okay. Was it peak level, like the sacrifice quest, or the new war quest? No, that's not a huge... Like, this quest wasn't supposed to be, tower related. Like, I didn't know what people expected, so my humble opinion, I didn't expect much of it, so my expectations went high. So me being not as optimistic is going to be kind of fine, I guess. I didn't expect much, but I did expect at least something, And then when it comes to content creators, I would say pick the ones wisely. Don't mindlessly agree and say amen to everything they say. Think for yourself. Don't go and copy their builds directly. Think for yourself. Listen to what they say. I'm not saying I shouldn't copy my builds or anything, but I just give my honest way of how I play things, and from what I've noticed is that everyone has their own playstyle, and that's completely fine. I'm not going to force down my playstyle onto you, and that's fine. I'm not going to have a grudge against you whatsoever. And then, as I've stated multiple times throughout my whole unscripted video thing, like I'm going all over the place, is that balance is a great area It's a very fine area, and it's a difficult area to not overstep boundaries in terms of catering towards one audience than the other one. And then let's end off this whole what I have to think about this whole update is that don't be overall negative. Look at the good stuff. DE has addressed some of the stuff, like the whole Styanax nerf. They have and is talking about adding more quests specifically for Ash and Garuda, which is awesome. I have read about a few things like that, so it's word of mouth. I don't know if it's going to happen for sure, but it's a possibility. So don't be all over negative when it comes to that. Keep your heads high when it comes to that. And then let's talk about the new update that's going to drop on the 15th. Maybe later, I don't know. We will see. Okay? So, from what I've heard, there's going to be a new primary weapon going to be added. Very excited. It's going to... I'm going to probably butcher the name. Let me see what's the name real quick. The name is Halavu. The Halavu is basically Zaku in a nutshell as a weapon. So from what I've seen and heard, it's going to be an amazing weapon. Really amazing weapon. So I'm going to make a challenge for you guys. I'm going to challenge and ask you if you want to see it. If yes, let's try and get this video to 5 likes at least. Or 3, I don't know. Depending on how great this video performs, but I'm willing to make a video about the weapon. And we can take things from there. But from what I've seen about it, the stats about it, it's pretty cool. And yeah, that's basically all that I have to say when it comes to the update. And that's really the core of it. We don't need to endlessly praise things that are fundamentally broken, but we also shouldn't act like the Scarlet's falling apart. It's all about the balance, and right now the structures of the veterans aren't just hitting the mark. But hey, that's just my perspective from the lab. I want to pass the mic over to the academy. You. What are your thoughts on this entire situation after hearing my opinions and critiques? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let's keep it constructive. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Swifty, signing out. A peace. Bye bye now.